www.noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold was the best investment class for 2022. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds. Gold outperformed them all in 2022. Matter of fact, Noble Gold Investments helped thousands of clients buy real physical gold. And according to longtermtrends.net, gold outperformed the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and even Bitcoin in 2022. Had you invested in the S&P 500 a year ago, you'd be crying because you'd have lost 20% of your investment. If you'd invested in Bitcoin a year ago, you'd have lost 65%. And if you have put all your 401k or your savings, if you've invested in the Dow Jones in the stock market, you'd have lost 10%. But gold has outperformed them all in 2022, and silver wasn't that far behind. So what are we waiting for here? We need to join the thousands of others by opening a gold IRA or silver IRA with noblegoldinvestment.com. Invest with Noble Gold Investments before the end of the month, and you will bag a free 1/4 of an ounce American Gold Eagle coin. That's 1/4 of an ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA, gold IRA of $50,000 or more. Just pick up the phone and call Colin Plume or one of his associates at 877-646-5347. And you can ask for a no-pressure consultation, only conversation. That's 877-646-5347. I promise you something. You will be glad that you did. I tell you, those guys are really professionals and they care.
Huge piece of the sun broke off, leaving scientists stunned. The sun has always fascinated astronomers, and now a new development has baffled scientists. A huge part of the sun broke off of its surface and created a tornado-like swirl around the sun's north pole. And though scientists are trying to analyze how this occurred, the video of the developments has stunned the space community. The remarkable phenomenon was caught by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, and then it was shared on Twitter by Dr. Tamitha Skov, a space weather forecaster, last week. The sun keeps emitting solar flares that sometimes affect communications on Earth. Hence, scientists are more concerned about the latest development. According to NASA, the prominence is a large, bright feature extending outward from the sun's surface. There have also been several such incidences in the past, but this one has stumped the scientific community. Space scientists are now analyzing this strange event to gather more details about it and present a clearer picture. Though our favorite star is monitored round the clock, it keeps throwing us surprises, like the multiple powerful flares this month that disrupted communications on Earth. Turkish anger starts to turn towards the Turkish President Erdogan over earthquake delays in weak buildings. Turkish President Erdogan is facing mounting criticism from earthquake survivors and opposition parties over the country's poor construction record and what they say has been inadequate response to one of the nation's worst natural disasters. With the national death toll from Monday's two massive tremors passing 18,500, critics say the government's delay in sending cranes and other heavy machinery to lift slabs of concrete missed a critical window of opportunity to save people. Experts fear tens of thousands more people are buried under the rubble, meaning the number of fatalities is likely to keep rising. President Erdogan has conceded that there were difficulties in dispatching urgent aid amidst harsh winter conditions to all 10 affected provinces, though said on Wednesday all available means to help had been mobilized. Yet accusations date back further, with claims the government failed to enforce quality rules during a construction boom that's also contributing to the number of fatalities. The criticism comes as Erdogan prepares for national elections that take place in May, where he is seeking to extend his record 2-decade rule, one marked by a surge in building hailed by the president as a key driver of economic growth. The capacity to rescue people and deliver aid to the disaster zone has swiftly become a top issue ahead of the vote, which Erdogan is working toward holding on schedule. The United States Pentagon is looking to restart top secret programs in Ukraine. The Pentagon is urging Congress to resume funding a pair of top secret programs in Ukraine that were suspended ahead of Russia's invasion last year. This is according to current and former U.S. officials. If approved, the move would allow American Special Operations troops to employ Ukrainian operatives to observe Russian military movements and counter disinformation. A determination is unlikely before the fall. Defense officials are preparing a proposal for lawmakers' consideration in the coming months, when work begins on next year's Pentagon policy and funding bill. If successful, these programs could resume as soon as 2024, though it remains unclear if the Biden administration would allow U.S. commandos back into Ukraine to oversee them, or if the military would seek to do that from a neighboring country. No American military personnel are known to have operated there since the war began, beyond a small number tasked to the U.S. Embassy in Kiev, officially on record. Congressional officials said it was difficult to predict the outcome, particularly with Republicans split over the vast sums being sent to Ukraine. Others argue that the program's relatively small expense, $15 million annually for such activities worldwide, is a bargain compared with the tens of billions of dollars being committed to train and arm Ukrainian forces and replenish U.S. stockpiles. Military officials are eager to restart these activities inside Ukraine to ensure that hard-gained relationships are not lost as the war wears on. This was said by Mark Schwartz, who is a retired 3-star general who led U.S. Special Operations in Europe when the programs initially began in 2018. FBI has become politically weaponized, says ex-special agent at congressional hearing. A former FBI agent has told United States lawmakers in Washington that a loss of trust in the agency is among many Americans, and that the Bureau has become, quote, politically weaponized by the federal government. Nicole Parker testified on Thursday before a House committee investigating the weaponization of the federal government. She said it appeared, quote, as if there became 2 FBIs during her career with the Law Enforcement Bureau. Parker was employed by the FBI between the years 2011 and 2022. She explained in her testimony that a split existed between the organization's headquarters in Washington, D.C., and the various different field offices spread across the United States.